Hello, in this video I will be going over a few problems for linear equations. It's in our second unit. So let's get started. The first problem is a question about what is the solution for an x equation. So you have to solve for it and have it equal to x. So the first thing that you have to know is that things have to be like terms in order to be combined. So 10x and 3x are like terms, and that means we have a total of 13 x's. And then this doesn't have a like term on this side, so it's just 4 minus 4.5. These guys are unlike terms, so we can leave them alone. When we get a problem like this, what I like to tell my students is you always start with your x's. So here I am looking at my x's. And I'm always going to pick the smaller one. And as a reminder, if something's negative, it's smaller. And so we'll see what we're talking about in a minute. But so I look at my x's first, and I'm 12x is smaller than 13x. So I'm going to do the opposite for this. So I'm using the inverse property, which means if this is positive, I'm going to take the opposite, the additive inverse, which means if it's positive, I'm going to take negative. I'm going to do it on both sides. Okay, 13x minus 12x is just regular x. So I'm going to put that up here. Minus 4.5 equals negative 1.1. Now that we have x on one side, we want to get it by itself. So I'm going to do the additive inverse for this negative 4.5. Why? Because it's attached to this x. So the opposite of negative 4.5 is plus 4. And you're going to add 4.5 on both sides. So if you take away, so 4.5 plus negative 1.1. Now, if you're not good with this kind of stuff, I highly recommend, and I'm going to try to move my camera. I can't. So this. So I highly recommend going to this website. So we're going to use this calculator, desmos.com/scientific. Okay, it's a great calculator. Okay, and now this is simple. You can use a regular calculator for what we're gonna do. But why I want to show you this calculator is when we do harder stuff, it has better functionality. So anyway, but back to our problem. So our problem says that we have to do negative 11. So I write negative. I hit subtract 1.1 plus 4.5. What's nice about this calculator, it doesn't have a negative button. You just use a subtract when you have a negative. And if you look over here, it's going to tell you that your answer is 3.4, right? So what's nice is you don't have to hit enter, but you can if you want to. Enter is below it's this blue button. But if your math is clean, it's going to tell you already over here. Okay, and then here your answer show up on this side, and then I can convert it to a fraction if I needed to. Right. So it's a really great calculator and wonderful for the kind of math that we're doing. So I go back to my problem, and in my in here I put in my answer, which was 3.4. So I just typed this into here. For a lot of you, I think it's really the reading of the questions that's going to give you problems, because from working with you guys before we started using Edmentum, I saw that a lot of you guys understood some of this math already. So for a lot of us, it's the reading of the problem. So let's look at this problem. So drag each tile to the correct location on the table. What's a tile? This is a tile over here. These are tiles. So this is a tile. This is a tile. Okay. So I took a screenshot, so I can't drag it. But what you would do is you would take this tile and you would put it into the correct spot, right? So here we start with our given, right? And Now they put in these fractions, but don't get nervous about the fractions. Look what happens in the next spot. So here's the original, and then they add this, right? They add this. So this is subtraction. So we just look for the word subtraction. It's right here, and we put it right here. So this is going to be what goes up in there. Next, we look over here, right? So what happened is they simplified, they cleaned it up because 17 over 3 minus 17 over 3 cancels out, and we're just left with this. And over here, we're just left, we subtracted 5 minus 17 over 3. So it's called simplification. So we're going to just move simplification into there, okay? And oh, let me just, sorry, I'm noticing here, let me take out these purples. Take away from, sorry guys. So, okay, so here's subtraction, it goes there, simplification in green, it goes there. Now, you look back, and let's see, we have over here, we moved, right? This was on this side, and we have another subtraction over here. So, okay, we're going to just take, and I'm going to erase this because it's both negative, right? So it doesn't matter that here was a number and here it has a variable. The fact that we subtracted on both sides means that we're going to drag this again. Okay, so another subtraction. All right, now we look over here, and what happened, guys? They cleaned it up, right? They subtracted these two, they subtracted these two, and so here we simplified it again. So it's, you're not driving yourself crazy, you're just dragging it in every time. Now, what operation do we see next? We see they're multiplying by the reciprocal. What's the reciprocal? You see how this 4 is down here? Well, if I put it up here, and you see how this 5 is on top, and if I put it down here, it's the reciprocal. And when you multiply by the reciprocal, what you're doing is you're going to cancel out this number, so x is by itself. And then whatever you do on this side, you do on that side, right? And that's the multiplication property of equality, so that goes in here. So look, we repeated two things. And what happens here, guys? What's that final step? That final step is simplification. So I'm gonna, I like to keep these videos short, and I've already kind of went longer than I wanted to. But as soon as you hit this in, you hit next. And I have two more problems that I'm going to create another video if you want to watch. All right, I hope this was helpful. Put comments if you want me to change anything or do anything. This is meant to help you. Okay, take care.